There you go. Let's hope this doesn't happen, but try to imagine this. You're in a cafe getting a cup of coffee when suddenly somebody next to you falls to the floor, limp and turning blue. She's having a cardiac arrest, so you can call for help. Unfortunately, no one else in the place knows what to do. No one is CPR certified, and the ambulance won't be here for another 5 minutes. What do you do? According to the American Heart Association, in 1 year alone, 475,000 Americans die from a cardiac arrest. And out from this number, more than 350,000 cardiac arrests occur outside the hospital each year. We are living in a very unpredictable world. Things may be fine 1 minute, and then a person you know may have a cardiac arrest in the next. While we hope this won't happen to any of us, it is still important that we know what to do when this situation happens. At times like this, CPR can be the difference between life and death. This is why everyone should be CPR certified to save a person's life in times of emergency. Today, I'd like to share with you what CPR is and why it is best that everyone become CPR certified. First, I will be talking about what CPR is and why it is important. Second, I will share how CPR can save a life. And finally, I will share how anyone can learn it and how everyone can be certified. First, let's talk about what CPR is. CPR, or cardiopulmonary resuscitation, is an emergency procedure that could help save a life when the heart stops beating. When the heart stops beating, blood stops flowing to the body, meaning oxygen cannot be delivered. When this happens, we die. This is where CPR comes in. When your heart is no longer able to do it, we have to manually do it for the victim. As many of you may be familiar with, CPR is performed by pushing on the chest and blowing into their mouth. This consists of 2 parts: chest compressions, pushing hard and fast, and rescue breaths. Red Cross explains that to administer CPR, cycles of chest compressions and breathing are needed until the person exhibits signs of life such as breathing. According to the American Heart Association, CPR can double or triple chances of survival after cardiac arrest. This is why it's important. When one needs it but nobody could administer it, we lose a life that could have been easily saved if only we knew how. Now that we have talked about what CPR is, let's talk about why it's important for everyone to be certified at it. We can use CPR to save a life. As mentioned at the beginning of this speech, every year around 350,000 people suffer from out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. According to the American Heart Association, about 90% of people who experience an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest die. Unfortunately, only 45% of those out-of-hospital cardiac arrest victims survive. The reason for these survivals is that there were people who were CPR certified nearby. However, what if there was no one to administer CPR? When CPR is administered immediately after the arrest, the chances of the patient's survival can double or triple. When the heart stops pumping, it only takes 4 to 6 minutes before the brain starts dying and permanent damage to occur. With that being said, we cannot expect nurses, doctors, or paramedics to be on standby everywhere in the city to make sure no one dies of cardiac arrest or the like. This is why it is important that non-medical personnel are able to help a person who needs medical rescue. We should remember that cardiac arrest happens without warning, so knowledge of CPR can help a person in need. It can help a stranger, a neighbor, a family member, and it can even maybe save you. While we understand now that CPR is helpful, not everyone knows how to properly administer it to a person. The demand is real, and this is the reason why everyone needs to learn it and be CPR certified. Anyone can learn CPR, and anyone can be certified. We've seen this being done in movies, and while the procedure looks easy, it actually requires special training. Otherwise, we may be hitting the wrong spots, and we may be pushing too fast or too slow. When a life depends on us, it is important that we do it correctly, or else we lose a life. Joanne Paluda of the Boston Magazine says, there is no minimum age to be CPR certified, but you need to be able to compress a chest 2.5 inches while remembering the steps for breaths, compressions, and numbers. Whiting says 10 or 11 years of age is probably the minimum. So how do we become CPR certified? The Red Cross actually provides 2 ways to become one. You can be certified through classroom training, or you could also be certified through web-based training. You can learn lessons through the online Red Cross CPR curriculum and only come to a classroom for the hands-on segment of the course. Sometimes we feel what we won't make a difference, but we'll never know when somebody would need our help. One moment, that's all it takes, and we need to be prepared for that one moment. Karen Whiting of the American Red Cross said, you can save someone's life. And while this sounds very overwhelming and you might think you're no superhero, what she said is actually true. We can save a person's life if someone can immediately jump in and give CPR. That will extend the person's chances of surviving until advanced medical care arrives. We do not need to wait for a person we know to suffer cardiac arrest to know how important becoming CPR certified is. It's actually not that difficult. You can become CPR certified right now, and you can help save a person in the future. Remember that woman who fell on the floor while you were ordering a cup of coffee at the beginning of the speech. Now imagine being CPR certified while being there. Imagine the years she's have to live more just because you cared and just because you saved her. Now if everyone is CPR certified, imagine how many other lives could be saved. We'll never know when our help is needed, so I urge you to learn and be CPR certified. Remember, more people trained means more lives saved. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.